Hey y'all, it's Sharon from southernbellahome.com out here today in my potager garden. It's late summer, mid-August, and some of the things are looking awesome. Some of the things have already been pulled out because they were not so awesome. Some things are still hanging on. But today I want to talk to you about my word of the year that I chose at the beginning of the year this year. Now, I know a lot of you, at least a lot of folks that I see on social media, choose a word for the year, a word to focus your heart and mind on. And for me, I always, I pray about the word that I'm going to choose, and then I really kind of do an introspective look and think, you know, what quality or character trait do I need to really work on this year? Do I need to ask God to grow in me? And this year, it was steadfastness. I just knew that I needed to grow in the area of sticking to something, seeing it through to fruition, forming a plan, which I'm great at forming a plan. I'm great at making a to-do list. And I'm pretty good with follow through for the most part, but there are some times when I falter in the area of being steadfast and just seeing the project through to the end. And this year, especially with it being my first year gardening, I wanted to do a better job of being steadfast. I wanted to start this garden from seed and see it through, and bring food into our home and just continue until the task was done. I had some challenges this year in my garden. I'm standing here in the cow panel tunnel that has loofah gourds and green beans. Now, I have been gardening for years. When I lived in the suburbs, I gardened, but that does not mean that I know everything about gardening. There's so much that I don't know, and I'm learning. I learned a lot this year about what to plant, where, and what not to plant together. Well, this tunnel is an example of that. I will never plant my green beans and my loofah gourds together. You probably are laughing at me right now that I ever did that in the first place. But I thought there'll be plenty of room. I know that loofah is a late season crop and they don't really come on till the end. Well, what I wasn't counting on was the fact that my green beans were going to be very late starters this year. First of all, they were damaged by a late frost, which made them susceptible to viruses and more susceptible to damage from pests. So my green beans just floundered this year. Even my, I call them asparagus beans, the Chinese noodle beans, they even floundered. And I've grown those every year for years and always had a bumper crop. But this year my green beans were damaged from a late frost and it just caused all sorts of problems. Well, I had two decisions that I could make. I could give up on the green beans and just go buy some nice organic green beans or go down to the farmer's market and buy his beans. But something in me just said, no, keep on, be steadfast, don't give up. So I read about peroxide sprays that I could use for viruses, and I read about things I could do for pests and caterpillars that were an organic method. So I did all those things. And y'all, the first week of August, I started getting green beans. I want you to look at this. Let's see. Can you see here? Can you see the green beans? Green beans here. And they're all over the trellis. So, also, my loofah. Would you take a look at this? They are covering the tunnel, and you see more green beans green beans are covering the tunnel. So this little episode with the green beans spoke a deep truth to me. And that was, first of all, patience and steadfastness. Don't give up just because things look bleak. When you may think, oh, that's it, there'll be no harvest here. Don't give up. You may be quitting just a little shy. Now that lesson rings true in life. How many times have we given up on something just before the breakthrough? Just before the harvest? So if I had pulled these green beans up, which I was very tempted to do because y'all, they look bad. Even I think I showed in one of my previous garden tours how bad they looked. So everything in me wanted to just yank them up. But not only did I not yank them up, I planted more beans. Right in front of these beans, I went right between those plants and put another seed. That's another lesson for us. When things are tough, don't just pull back and pull out. Plant seeds. Plant seeds in hope of another harvest. Not only did the older beans that had been frost damaged, not only did they pull through and start producing, but new beans that I planted all came up and now they're producing. And I've been picking boundless supplies of beans for several days now. And I'm so blessed by that because I feel like so many things in this garden are really, they're wonderful for food, but they are deep character lessons that God is teaching me. And so the lesson that I wanted to share with you today is in regard to your garden, in regard to your health, your family, your home. When it looks tough, when it looks like maybe you're under attack from pest or virus or whatever the case may be, don't give up. Plant more seeds. Do what you can do to bring health back to your plants, to your family, to yourself, and be steadfast. Steadfast just means not giving up, seeing it through. So I plan on continuing that. And another little lesson that I got, I've watched so many people on social media and on YouTube talking about their fall gardens and how they were pulling everything out of their summer gardens and getting ready to plant the fall crop. Well, you know what? I'm the type of person that if I see you do it, I think, oh, I need to do that too. I need to get my fall garden planted. I need to rip out my summer garden. But my summer garden is still producing. A lot of it is still producing. Again, I got a little tug in my heart. And God said, you know, what everybody else is doing might be perfect for them, but it might not be my timeline for you. I still have lots of beautiful flowers. I have tons of green tomatoes all over the vines here. They're even getting to be good size. That's a good size tomato for late in the year. Several of them on there like that. Now, one thing I have really tried to be steadfast about is when I see virus, if I see a little yellow like that, I get out here and I get it off of these vines. I think that's one thing that has helped. I just picked my noodle beans, but you can see that finally the vines are starting to cover the trellis. My okra is still doing amazing, giving me okra every day. This is a above ground sweet potato vine. You can see right there. Little babies coming on. Those are like a squash that's supposed to taste like sweet potatoes. You can see the loofah gourd from here. Mexican sunflower from Jeff at Bobblehead Homestead. The Berries Crazy cherries, I trimmed those way back and they're covered in blooms now. And clusters of tomatoes, which they're one of our favorites. My cucumbers and Kajari melons I had cut way back. They're coming back. You can see the pumpkin down there I've already picked. More okra, more zinnias. Over here, my peppers have finally started to really come out. These are peppadew peppers, which are some of our favorite peppers that we love to get on like a deli bar. So I really wanted to grow those this year. I have 2 eggplants here, which I've been harvesting eggplants, and they both have new babies. And here is pepper. I have green beans producing here. I have an okra and ground cherry. Sweet potatoes in that bucket. Those are melon pears. And all of those buckets there are peppers. So from this vantage point, you can see that this little garden, oh, and that's a new pumpkin vine right there. And you can see the huge pumpkin vine down there that has new babies on it too. So this potager is still lush, green, producing fruit, working hard to feed our little family. So as long as it's hanging in and looking beautiful, I'm working with it. And I'm not going to give up on it until everything says that it's spent and that it's time for it to go. So, my little summer garden that's still giving me a basket of goodies every day is staying for a little while longer. Learning that steadfast spirit. I'm going to let it grow and let it go while it's still producing. And when the time comes, it will come out and we'll start a new season, a new fall season. So that's my word to y'all today. Be steadfast in your garden. Don't give up when things get tough. Pull out when it's time to, but don't do it prematurely. Not because everybody else is doing it. Try to follow God's plan for your life, for your home, for your family, for your garden. And you'll be far better off, my friends. I wish that you would come see me on Instagram. I'm Sharon at Southern Bella Home on Instagram. On Facebook and Pinterest, I'm simply Southern Bella Home. And also, I have a blog where I write about home, family, all things healthy and wholesome in our old Southern farmhouse. And I try to throw a little bit of gracious Southern style in there with it. I talk about some precious Southern women in my life and just various items about redoing an old farmhouse, gardening, food, anything I can think of having to do with home and homestead, you'll find over at southernbellahome.com. So I wish that you'd come over, and I wish you would sign up for the email list. And then also, if you're not a subscriber to my YouTube channel, I would love for you to be a part of my YouTube family. Subscribe, ring that notification bell icon, and you'll be notified every time I put up a video. Also, like and comment and share. That helps me more than you may know. Y'all have a wonderful day, friends. Keep home sweet, keep it inspiring, and keep it inviting. And I'll see you on the next video. Bye.